I was among a group of Americans evacuated from Saigon on April 29th, 1975. I remember that the helicopter we were in took off from Tan Son Nhut Air Base in Saigon, which was under artillery and rocket fire. It was it was scary as hell. I remember running out to that helicopter and hearing 122 millimeter shells and rockets slamming into the runway, 100 yards away. And then taking off in that chopper and taking ground fire as we took off. And then we crossed the coastline at, I can still remember this, 4:09 p.m. on April 29th in the particular helicopter I was in. And I remember seeing the South China Sea and the entire U.S. 7th Fleet. And I remember seeing all these carriers, destroyers, cruisers, and seeing all of this and saying that, my God, all of this might and power of the United States of America, and we were not able to prevail against the army, basically, of Asian peasants. And then not quite 12 hours later, about 5 o'clock in the morning, the last Marines were evacuated from the roof of the American embassy, and that was it. That was the end of the war.
I suppose the Captain Dale Dye method, if there is one, and there is one depending on who you ask, is really not too different from the experience that we all had, those of us who served in the military, at our first several weeks in recruit training. I do a lot of things, but the basic idea is that unless you have been a soldier in combat, you have no baggage upon which to draw to portray a soldier. And so what you will do, you actor weenie, what you will do is imitate the last bad war movie that you saw. And you'll think, that's cool, that must be what it is, because I saw that. Well, it isn't. And the reality is so much more dramatic than anything you can conceive, that if I give you a taste of that experience, you're liable to come up with something that's just barn burner, something that's just dynamite. In other words, I'll free your talent. And so that's essentially what it is. I put you into full isolation. I create for you a world from which you cannot escape. And if I'm really good, and I am, I'll make you believe it. And the way I'll make you believe it is by exhausting your dumb ass. I'll run you through physical training until your eyes cross, until you are really genuinely out of your comfort zone. And you know that only by pleasing me and my cadre at Warriors Incorporated will you survive. And that's dead serious. It's not about somebody putting a bullet in you. It's just about surviving the captain and his sergeants. Nothing different in that, except that it's my secret, or it used to be, isn't anymore. The point is, I can put you in that sort of extremis. And once I own your mind, once I've got you in that sort of extremis, I can then start peppering you with blank ammunition, and you've lost the concept that that's blank ammunition. As far as you're concerned, somebody's fighting at you. Because I've reduced you to lowest common denominator and then built you back up. I've taught you that there are some things out there worth sacrificing for. I've taught you that the sun does not necessarily rise and set on your dumb ass, and that there may be something out there that's bigger than you are and worth sacrificing for, and perhaps even worth dying for. And that what you do is not measured by how many lines you've got. It's not measured by how many scenes you're in. It's measured by your forthrightness, your reliability to the guy on your left and on your right who need you. And if you screw up, or if they screw up, the mission fails. And I want that to be the most frightening thing in the world to you. And when it is, I own you.
We had a rather wonderful sound editor called Gordon Daniel. One of his main tasks was to find a sound for a creature called a gecko. Oliver decided that he was going to torment Gordon, and Gordon would come up with all these sort of inventions, and it was never the right sound. Gordon got very ticked off, and he said, well, I've consulted the Smithsonian, and geckos don't make any sound. And Oliver just sort of laughed to himself, and he said, I'm going to create a character named after you. I'm going to call my next character Gordon Gecko. And that, of course, was how Gordon Gecko of Wall Street got his name.